How serious is this gang's OCD? Little handsome dating cannot stand the girl's bag too messy. Surprisingly, while the girl went to the toilet to go through their bags, put things in a neat and tidy way. Let the girl think he is a pervert. Not only that, he is also a symmetrical OCD. The eyes have to be pushed twice. The watch is one in each hand. Even his name was changed to Otto. What's more, he can't step on the seams when he walks. When he encounters a place that he really can't cross, will use the backpack as a pedal. The second sister Jean is a cleanliness demon. Either washing his hands or on the way to wash his hands. Do not use your hands to open the door and turn off the water. If you accidentally touch your face, touch the hair. Even more, she hates to take a bath in public. The third lady has OCD. Every time she goes out, she worries about not getting things right, so she goes home again and again to check. Tidy up. Go out. Check again. Have you turned off the lights? Is the water unscrewed? Did you bring your keys? It's hard to get on the bus. Heard people say that thieves will enter the house without closing the windows to steal things. I was so scared that I ran home again. I was so distracted all day. Want to do things are also delayed. The fourth uncle is even worse. Suffered from severe obscenity syndrome. Always cannot control swearing. And the more nervous cursing, the more unpleasant. Since childhood, he has been beaten a lot. Because of this, even dare not go to work. Can only find a job to raise parrots at home. As a result, the parrot only learned to curse words. The fifth bearded brother suffering from compulsive arithmetic. Whenever he encounters something, he has to convert it into numbers. Can't stop counting the steps upstairs. Can't help but count the cars that pass him when driving. Even the uncle, how many swear words he also want to count through mental arithmetic. The uncle said 1,368 times a day to swear. A year is 499,320 times. The last mushroom head is more mouth-watering. She suffers from repetition compulsion. She can't help repeating a word. Always repeats a word twice. Even surprise has to be repeated.
Alguien más olvidó su toque.
¿Quién?
¡Esperen! Alguien más olvidó su toque.
These compulsions have seriously affected their lives, so they went to a well-known local psychiatrist for help, but the doctor hadn't even arrived yet. Several oddball patients are gathered together. The nurse came in and said the doctor's flight was late. Hearing this terrible news, the OCD of everyone in the room got even worse. The nurse saw that the situation was getting out of hand. A bright idea. Asked them to have a fellowship meeting, to communicate with each other, get to know each other. They were all here. We think we can only do this first. The same end of the world to force people to exchange their illnesses. Maybe it will be good. Put a group of severe OCD in a room together. What will happen? Xiao Shui never step on the floor seams, so he has developed an acrobatic skills. But he is more serious as organized OCD. He can't stop going through people's bags when he's on a date with a girl. Put the things inside neatly. That's why he is still single. Jean works in a biology lab. Long-term look at the germs to see the problem. She feels that the surrounding area is full of germs, so she is extremely clean. She washes her hands 1,000 times a day. She also volunteered to clean the lab like crazy every day. She even received complaints from the cleaning lady. Auntie Toothless suffers from the common compulsion to go out. Afternoon tea with girlfriends. But she is always worried that something will happen at home. Afraid of losing her keys. Fear of leaving the gas on. Turning off the water. Covering the lid. After her 8th trip home, girlfriends have finished eating and left. And when the older woman was nervous, will frantically draw a cross on her chest. And the uncle with obscenity compulsion is even worse, because he can't control his mouth. Since childhood, he was beaten a lot. When he grew up, he couldn't find a job. And the more nervous he was, the harder he cursed. Arithmetic compulsive beard brother through mental arithmetic. Calculated that the uncle has said 24,666,680 times in his life. He could not control himself to calculate everything in front of him. At the same time, the mental calculation ability is excellent. This is a mathematical genius in the eyes of others, but it always distracted him, and he had a serious hoarding problem. The yard is full of all kinds of found things. His girlfriend can't stand it and wants to break up, and the cute mushroom head suffers from a repetition compulsion, always repeating every word unconsciously. For this reason, she found a job as a fitness instructor, repeatedly shouting commands. It's a natural way to cover up her own flaws. It also makes the students work harder. However, sometimes people will be shouted out of breath. After listening to the tragic experiences of the patients, we can all relate to each other. We all got along well through the communication of the illness. Shui, who has OCD symmetry, also likes mushroom hair, because a sentence repeated twice is also symmetrical. But Jean was touched by a woman's hair. She had to go wash her hair again. Suddenly Xiao Shui had an idea. Idle time is also idle. How about we do a group therapy together? Help each other to overcome OCD. See if it works. Uncle took the lead. need. He has to control himself not to curse within 3 minutes, but the more control he has, the more he curses. Even the mushroom head is also sick. Just when the uncle was discouraged, Brother Beard found that uncle cursing more and more polite words. This is a good sign. The second one is the aunt who loves to check. She had to not draw a cross in 3 minutes. No checking the house keys, while others ask her questions.
¿Estás segura?
100%. ¿Segura? Pero lo ha comprobado.
Que cogemos el llavero que no es por equivocación.
The older woman couldn't take it anymore. She reached into her bag. The key was really gone. The aunt was so frightened that her heart beat faster and her blood pressure rose. Just when she could hardly breathe, the key was finally found. And for the extremely clean Sister Jean, they are even more insane. Do you dare to touch the toilet that has been sat on by 100 asses? In order to cure the pathological cleanliness, these people even want to let Sister Jean touch the toilet. Sister Jean refused to do anything. Brother Beard didn't say anything, directly grabbed her hand, pressed on the public sink, repeatedly rubbed. In the eyes of ordinary people, this is not a big surprise, but for Sister Jean, it was like taking out a turd. Sister Jean was completely devastated. To the bearded brother is a slap. The crowd asked her to challenge 3 minutes without washing her hands, but she could not stand it anymore. Jean finally failed the challenge. Next is never step on the floor scenes of the small handsome. They pushed him out. The result is that Xia Shui is very good. Did not step on the wiring. They put the blindfold again. Deliberately let him step on the seam. But when the blindfold was removed, little Marshall jumped directly into the arms of the bearded brother. Challenge again failed. Next was the mushroom head who spoke repeatedly. We try to guide her to speak only once, but always ineffective. Finally, it was the math demon Bear Dai. Everyone lined up to give him a math problem, but no matter how complex arithmetic, he can answer in seconds. After a round of group therapy to overcome OCD did not work, Brother Beard was furious and wanted to leave. But suddenly the uncle asked him a question. In the past hour, how many swear words did I use? How many times did the older lady draw a cross? Brother Beard realized that he had missed this number. Is this not the effect of overcoming the compulsion to calculate? I was too busy helping others. The lady didn't draw a cross, and he didn't swear. When rescuing the old lady, Xia Shui also unconsciously stepped on the seam. Jean touched the aunt and did not go to wash her hands. It turns out that when they are distracted by dealing with emergency situations, will forget their OCD. After listening to the crowd suddenly realized, everyone was confused to find a cure. Naturally, there was no need for a doctor. After they came out, they formed an OCD friendship group. They decided to form a training group once a month. That night they found a cure, and gained friendship, but when the others left, but the old man quietly returned to the psychiatric clinic, so he was the psychiatrist. He had been hiding among the patients from the beginning, worked with them to identify problems, through guidance rather than education. Let the patients be cured. The bearded man throws away his hoarded items, regaining his girlfriend's heart. The older lady doesn't check her keys when she goes out, because the keys were really left at home. Handsome and Mushroomhead also become lovers. They heal each other. Jean is no longer overly clean, and her colleagues have become friends. Finally, Uncle's Clinic. There is a new group of OCD patients.
Please subscribe, like, and ring the notification bell for more amazing contents like this one.